Big win, Don Wilson here for Top MMA News. Here with the man that's actually probably been on our site, interviewed more than any other fighter, Remi Bam Bam Morvan. And, you know, before we get into everything, I think last time we talked to you, family was expecting, and now you're Remi Bam Bam Dad Morvan. How's that going?
Yeah, dad number 2, actually.
Dad number
I've got, my son is going to be 2 in December, and then my daughter just turned 6 months, so between being a father, training, dieting, I don't have much time for much else. But
so you know what I mean. We're getting ready for your first fight at 125, which I got to say is commendable. I don't think I can make 225, folks. What's the biggest thing for you? What's the hardest thing for the drop down? Is it the training, the weight cutting, or is it the dieting?
The dieting, but also the. I hate running, but I have to tell you, if you want to make 125, you got to run every single day. And, I'm getting used to it now. My stride's getting better. I'm at a faster pace, and I'm starting to like running. But in the beginning, I just dreaded going up and getting up. If it wasn't for my fiance, Christine, getting on my butt to go run, and don't eat that, and don't eat that. And, she's one of the reasons I'm going to be able to make 125.
So speaking of that, what she's telling you not to eat and what she's telling you to eat, what is your average diet per day?
Lunch Monday through Sunday is salad. Yeah. Dinner time, salad with, maybe a piece of chicken or fish or things like that. In the morning, it's a little bit of oatmeal. There's not much to my diet, basically.
Now, do you have to weigh out the portions as well beforehand? I guess you got a portion control's got to be a big thing as well.
I should. I don't portion it. I portion it with just by sight and knowing. Yeah, exactly. I know, and it's to know not to go for seconds and things like that. And but more, it's just eating clean, and the portions of salad, it's not that critical. But definitely, if I'm eating a piece of chicken, you cut the breast in half. Yeah. And yeah, so.
Now let's put it this way. When I say salad, I mean a Caesar salad with bacon, chicken, breaded chicken, folks, deep fried, and a lot of dressing. When you say salad, you mean?
I'll have that salad after the weigh-ins, maybe. But no, it's vegetables, lettuce, and like I said, if I'm lucky, some chicken or some tuna on top of it. But even then, I usually save the protein for dinner or something like that.
You get the big piece of dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you're making your big drop down October 28th at Rec to 125. You're taking on Mike Reilly. That's a pretty interesting competitor. The guy's been on a roll. You had the huge start to your career. A little bit of bumps in the road on the way. You've taken a good 10 months off. How are you feeling before we get into Mike?
I'm feeling great, and I would have thought with dieting so much and running that I get in the gym and I feel great. And you know what? I'm at a funny weight. I think my ideal weight would be 130. But at 135, you've got guys, I fought Adrian Woolley and Eric Perez and Delorme, and I'm at a weird weight. I'm a small 135er, so I'm definitely going to be a big 125. But Mike Reilly, like you mentioned, he's on a roll. I'm not taking him lightly. If you guys would have a 125-pound ranking, I'm sure he'd probably be number 1 or number 2. So he's the Nick Denis, the Adrian Woolley of 125. So I'm taking him very seriously. He's got a lot of threats.
Now, there's a lot of guys dropping down to 125 right now. Do you think it's going to be a little difficult finding more fights, in the next few months? Or are you looking at maybe taking another little break, and then look for another fight at 125? Like, what's your plan of action, so to speak, at flyweight?
I think at the point I'm at in my life with my kids and everything, I need to start taking the right fights, and definitely if I'm cutting down, I'm not only cutting down, I don't have any fat left on me. I'm cutting down muscle, and so I want to continue at flyweight, and I want to pick the right fights. And if that means you look at all the guys at the top of the division, they don't fight that often. Adrian Woolley, Nick Denis, they don't fight very often. They pick the right fights, and that's why their careers are going the way it's going. So I'm going to pick the right fights at 125 and step up in competition every fight, and go from there and see where it takes me.
Do you think the search for opponents at flyweight might take you outside of Canada? Maybe not even to the States, maybe somewhere, the Philippines. I know you've been down to Guam before. They do have a budding MMA scene. A lot of lighter weight guys. even northern Brazil is putting out a lot of great flyweights. Are you thinking maybe traveling around to pick up some good wins?
I would love to. That'd be that's I think every fighter's dream is to fight internationally. It's nice that we're fighting the local guys that we know, and everyone has something to offer. But at the same time, in the beginning when I started, I fought in Guam, I fought in Halifax, I fought in Winnipeg, but a lot of my fights lately have been here in Ottawa or Montreal. So I definitely like to go back, and obviously at 125, either people are going to be brought in, or I can ship out, and Japan would be a lot,
place,
yeah, fun.
No, definitely. Now, you brought up a name. I wasn't good enough to hit on it then. Going to hit on it now. Eric Perez. We had talked to him before. He's thinking of making the drop down to 125. You think that'd be a fight that you'd want back?
At 125, I'd like to know how his gas tank would be at 125. I've talked to Eric Perez since we fought, and he's a good guy, very respectful, and I hope if he can make 125 and the stars align, then yeah, definitely. I think if in a second people were saying that we may not have put on the most exciting fight, but I think maybe at 125. If it happens, we can maybe put on a better show.
Well, I got to say, the way you guys go, you drop down 10 more pounds, I think you couldn't be able to blink for the action I'd be expecting that fight. So before we let you go, any family, friends, sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Everyone at Awama, Christine for, I don't think I'd make 125 if it wasn't for her. My family, all my friends and supporters. Yeah, and so if you're in town, if you're in Ottawa, come down and check out my debut at 125. I won't let you down, that's for sure.
Like he said, Rec pops off October 28th at the Casino de Lac Lamy. Once again, this has been Big Win Don Wilson, Remi Bam Bam Morvan, Top MMA News.